How's it going, guys? Reedy from Leicester TV here, previewing the Liverpool-Leicester match on Thursday night. We do have a special guest in today, but we'll firstly get some comments in if you do want to put your comments in as well. So be it. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Obviously, Liverpool on Thursday. We've got a big game after the weekend's match. We do not want to be talking about that. Obviously, a lot of controversy yesterday on Phil's show. But it's a big one for us now because what Rodgers has said about the players, what people are saying about Rodgers. Is it time for Rodgers to go? Is it time for a lot of players to go? I'll tell my opinion after we get the guest in. But Maz, appreciate you coming in. Richie, appreciate you coming in as well. Tom, appreciate it. Jack says that really ain't confident ahead of Thursday. I am. I said yesterday. I'm confident on Thursday. I don't know why. We've done it before at our ground. We can do it again. You never know. Gray, we need that miracle Thursday afternoon. I always call it a miracle, but you never know. Amanda, hello. Appreciate you coming in again. And Ben, appreciate it. We will get the special guest in if he is ready to come on. How are you doing, mate?
Hello, my mate. You okay?
I am good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Good, no worries, mate. Appreciate you coming on anyway. So, obviously, main topic again, obviously, Thursday night. Is it 7 or 7:15? I'm not too sure, but big game. Well, obviously, before we even spoke about the team, who's probably coming back, got to say congratulations for Mane winning the AFCON with the, obviously, Senegal. Even with us, Papi Mendy in in that team as well. He's won, so both teams have got that for coming back into the teams. Start with Mane and Salah. Are any of them going to be starting in that team coming forward into Thursday night?
Mane won't. Mane's still in Senegal, so they're not going to ask him to come back. He's obviously celebrating. He's got all his Instagram showing you what he's up to at the moment. He's celebrating back in Senegal, which is fair play to him. He deserves that. Salah is available. He's training, so he can play. That'll be Liverpool's choice. Again, that's up to the Reds and Jurgen what he decides. Salah played a lot of football in AFCON, like a lot of extra time, a lot of penalty shootouts. I think it was three games went to penalties or something for Egypt. So yeah, they've had a lot of football. So whether he goes straight back into the side, I don't know. But yeah, so definitely no Mane, and then Salah. Obviously, it'll depend on how he's feeling. I imagine he starts. If I'm honest, it's very rare that he doesn't. So I would expect Mo to play.
Yeah, that is the worrying thing. But then again, from a previous matchup, we obviously did get the win. It was a hard fought game, and to be honest, we've got to say fair play to you as well. You did all you could to kind of win the game. Penalty didn't go in, and all that didn't work for you. But again, coming into Thursday's game, are you looking at maybe a few of the youngsters coming in, or are you going for a full on team that you would normally put out? And so, like I say, Harvey Elliott came back. Last game against Cardiff, obviously came on and scored a goal. Is he maybe going to be starting as well, or?
Yeah, it's hard to know. Like we've got a lot of games coming up, like yourselves. We're still in. We've got a cup final on the horizon as well. We've got Burnley on the Sunday after we play you guys. Inter Milan's the Champions League. That's next week as well. So games are coming thick and fast. Like I say, I think between now and the end of February, Liverpool will play 6 games. Having just played, so they've got a lot to come. Obviously, we've got Leicester, Burnley, Inter, Norwich, Leeds, Chelsea, all to come before the end of this month. And bear in mind, there's only 20 days left in this month. There's a lot of football to be played. So it's hard to know exactly what he'll do. What I will say is everyone's available except Sadio for this game. Like there's no one else at the moment ruled out. So Chamberlain and Gomez, they both didn't play at the weekend because of COVID issues, but they're both back in training as well. So literally the manager has got his entire squad to choose from for these next few weeks. So it just depends on what he wants to do. I would be surprised if Elliott started. I think, again, I'm not sure he'll do that. But he could do. Listen, before Elliott before he got injured, he was in the first 11. He was getting his game ahead of some big players in the side. He was ahead of those in the pecking order. So Jurgen clearly rates him. He's a big fan of him, so he could play. But to be honest, this is the healthiest touchwood Liverpool have been for a long time in terms of no injuries, only one guy away on with his international duty. So the manager's got some decisions to make, but they're very good decisions. The ones he wants. This time last season, we had no defenders, for example. I know you guys went through something recently similar, and it's not easy. So it's a better position to be in than it was 12 months ago. But there's going to be some guys who don't even make the match day squad who will be disappointed because they like someone like Taki Minamino who scored at the weekend. He's on the fringes of even making the match day 20 or whatever it is. Like that's how deep it goes at the moment. So yeah, Jurgen's got some decisions to make.
Yeah, and there's already a few people in the chat saying about Jota being a massive threat, which for me at the moment could be the biggest threat because he can score from headers. He scores from just being obviously he's more of the central kind of player now, isn't he? He's not the winger. Yes, Salah and Mane could be starting, and then you've got Firmino behind him, but Jota's really placed his position in that squad over Firmino at the moment. But you say you can't lie. It was a great deal from Wolves to get Jota, and he's showing his class now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got 15 goals already this season in I think it's 29 appearances, so a goal every other game. You reference him not being on. He does play on the left still quite a lot, and I wouldn't be shocked if that's where he starts actually at the week. He will start on Thursday. I can guarantee that. I think he will start on the left with Mane not here and with Roberto Firmino up front, and then Salah probably plays out on the right hand side. That's our guess. If Salah isn't ready to go, then Elliott could go there, or obviously Luis Diaz can play as well. So there's lots of options in up front, but yeah, Jota will play. I'm certain of it, probably from the left. And like you say, yeah, his record since we've signed him is phenomenal. I think it was. I'm just checking now. Yeah, 28 goals in 59 games. So again, very, very just around 1 and 2. He had a major injury at last season as well. He missed a lot of football. He started like a house on fire, came back and took a while to get going. But then again, this season, like you say, he's been on fire. He is at the moment the main threat, but listen, the best player in the world, in my opinion, is coming back into the team as well, and the league's top scorer by a country mile. Like he's the main man, Mo Salah, when he's on the pitch. So yeah, Liverpool have got plenty of goals in them, that's for sure. But those two are the main two at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. Just going on to a bit more Leicester based as well now. What is your kind of opinion on Rodgers? Because like I say, we had a show yesterday. Phil Howsey hosted it, and he was saying after the Forest match, after 2 weeks ago when we dropped points to Spurs and Brighton, people are really turning on Rodgers now. After what he said post match, after the Forest game, he was kind of slating the players and saying they just don't have the hunger anymore. In your opinion, is it more Rodgers' fault, or is it because you can see that the players aren't up for it anymore?
He done that with us, by the way. He alienated a few of our players in the press at times. I remember him going hard after like Downing and then became a few others, and it was probably unfair to be honest. Like he was the one who was like he was playing Stuart Downing at fullback, and he was playing Jose Enrique at left wing, and then he was moaning when they weren't playing well and things like it. It got a bit odd at the end of the Rodgers reign. And listen, we were just over 3 years into the Rodgers reign, and when it ended, so obviously he came in June 2012. Yeah. He came in June 2012, and by October 2015, he was sacked. Now, you guys, it's pretty much, it was February, wasn't it? So it's you're 3 years into it as well now. I don't know, is that a coincidence? Maybe it is, I don't know. But I was shocked at the comments. I think it was, again, if your team gets beat 4-1 by a championship side in the FA Cup, like, it's fair enough to blame the players, but you have to take a lot of the blame yourself as well. You're the one who's picking that side. You set them up. You had a long time to get them ready for the game. There was an international break. Forest have been playing games, and I think we struggled a little bit against Cardiff with this. And there was a few EFL teams who maybe caught a few Premier League teams cold at the weekend, where they've been playing games and we all had them. But Brendan's got history of this. Listen, he won his FA Cup, didn't he? And that was no easy thing. He had you on the brink of Champions League twice, but ultimately, there's a track record of Brendan getting close to there and then just falling away at the last moment. We felt that ourselves, obviously with a league title push that just fell short for a lot of reasons. I was surprised at his comments. I'll be honest; they seem the comments of a man who feels like he's got a bit of pressure on him, and he's trying to maybe shift that off him a little bit. You can only do that once, though, can't you? Mate? You can't do that again. The next time he does that, it's gone now. He's open for a reaction. If he doesn't get it, then I agree. I think his position, again, your owners are very ambitious owners. I know they're very understanding and they've got a lot of time for Brendan, but 10th place in the league for Leicester with a big games to come this week where, in theory, it could be even it could fall worse. Villa can easily win their game, Southampton can win their game, and Leicester are 12th in the league. If that happens, if we beat you as well, I think at that point, I think that the writing might be on the wall for them. But yeah, you're living the same experience as we live with Brendan. The highs are very high and the lows can be very low.
Yeah, like I say, there's a lot of people who have been saying the free season syndrome and whatnot. And when I first heard about what he was saying about the players not having the hunger anymore, I kind of was like, well, I don't think it's Rodgers' tactics or anything then. It's more about the players just not wanting to play anymore. He may have lost a bit of the dressing room, which I kind of maybe see. But then there's certain players like people are always saying Yuri Tillemans is one of our best midfielders. We got Ndidi, which I thought Ndidi was a lot of more hungry than a lot of players against Forest. But there is a few players that just don't seem to want to fight for the ball as much now. And that's where I'm trying to back Rodgers more than the players. But then it's a bit of kind of a bump in the road, because if you're trying to blame the players, why would the players play for the manager if they're just going to keep slating each other? So it's a hard one. He did say that he wants players to really show that they can try and perform against someone like you. We've done it before. Players like Luke Thomas, not can I say he had him in Salah's pocket? Luke Thomas had Salah in his pocket, but again, was it just because Salah wasn't performing well? I'm not too sure.
You say that, mate, but I referenced that game, and Leicester, the goalkeeper played really well for you guys, and he did have a good game, but Liverpool had 20 odd shots in that game. I would be confident if there's another game where we get 20 shots, I'd expect us to score at least a couple of them. I think the main man in that game was Kasper Schmeichel. He was absolutely fantastic, and it was a makeshift defence that Leicester had, but they defended really deep and really well. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if that game could happen twice in a season. If I'm honest, again, if he scores that penalty, it might be different. He didn't, and again, I thought Schmeichel was excellent. I think he was named man of the match in that game, and rightly so. He was brilliant, and he's a brilliant goalkeeper. So that's not like that can happen on any given day. But yeah, listen, I think if Leicester, if the game panned out the exact same way again, I wouldn't expect the same results. If I'm honest, again, it could happen because Kasper Schmeichel could very much have that same game, because I think he's brilliant. I think he's actually very underrated. I think a lot of people don't actually give him the credit he deserves. I think talk about really good goalkeepers. But yeah, listen, mate, I think if that game pans out the same way, I would expect us to probably get the win.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like say, it always turns on its head. You always say 1 out of 10. It happened one way, and then 9 out of 10 games, you probably would win the game, which probably is true. I think it was just our night that night. But looking at the kind of league table for you then, see, you've played one game less, and which is probably going to be our game now.
No, it's Leeds. Sorry, no,
is
it
Leeds?
It's Leeds. It's Leeds.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. But say one game behind Man City. Oh, sorry, but Man City just still have 2 games to fully play with how many they need to play. But can you see maybe being a challenger still, or do you see them running away with it at the moment?
They're still the favourites, rightly so as well. They're the best. They've been the best team so far. What I would say is we've got all our players back now, and if we beat Leeds, I think that gap of it. Yeah, I'm thinking right in saying that if we beat Leeds and win, it becomes 6 points, and then we've still got to go to Manchester City and play. So it's 6 points. It's game on essentially. But yeah, we play Leeds it's a midweek game, and just before actually the cup final against Chelsea. So it's a while before we make that game back up. So we have to win every game before then and win that game, and then see where it takes us. It's going to be hard. Winning Premier League games is never easy, but we're on a good run. So I think before the weekend, before the international break, it looked like it was probably got away from us. I think when we lost at Leicester and then we drew at Chelsea, I thought that might be that's probably the end of it. I think I tweeted as much as well. But we went on a run after that, and then obviously City dropped points against Southampton. So it shows they're not unbeatable. I still think, if you ask me hand on heart who's going to win the league, I think Manchester City will. But Liverpool have made it a bit more interesting. Like I say, it's definitely I think it's now a 2-horse race. I think I'd rule Chelsea out. I know they're only a point behind us, but they've played 2 more games. So I think I would rule Chelsea out and say it's a 2-horse race, and City are the favourites. But our job is just to get to that game when we play them at their place. And if it's still 6 points by then, if it's less, absolutely fantastic. That's brilliant. But if it's still 6 points by then, I think that's what Liverpool's focus needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, before the season started, I did put Chelsea kind of hoping to win the league because obviously they got Lukaku in and whatnot. But going off there, I think you're right. In my opinion, you're still challenging there, but it is a hard one. Like you say, you've got to be getting close to them by the time you do play them. I don't know what. Do you know what date that is? Or
Yeah, so we go to Manchester City, but that's in April, so there's a long time before then. A lot can happen. It's early April. We play them. Like I say, there's a ton of football before then. But we've got our next run of games. Obviously, we play Leicester. Then it's Burnley, Norwich, Leeds. So that they're games that I would, again, Liverpool would be expecting to get points from. It gets a bit tricky after that. I think there's a West Ham game and a Brighton game, which are never easy for us. But yeah, basically, like I say, we just need to get to that April game. And if it's 6 points, then it is what it is, and we can go and try and put pressure on them. Hopefully, someone else can do us a favour against City in the meantime. But Liverpool just have to almost be perfect now. Really, that's the thing, is that we give ourselves such a handicap earlier on with a few dodgy results here and there that we almost have to be flawless from now here on out, which will be tough. But listen, I think this team are capable of winning 10 league games on the run. They're more than capable of it. They just have to now go and do it, because that's the only way really I could see City. I don't see City dropping 4 or 5 games where they lose between now and the end of the season. That's just not going to happen. So we need them to slip up once or twice, and then we have to be ruthless and capitalise. That's kind of the outside bet of it, which is why they're favourites. But listen, we're in early February, and Liverpool are still. There's a feasible chance that Liverpool could win 4 trophies this season, which is an amazing place to be. But the favourites for one of them, I think the League Cup final were the favourites for at the moment.
yeah,
But so yeah, we're in a very good place.
yeah, exactly. And even Ross says here that which Liverpool player hasn't lost a game at Anfield when he starts? It's his Mane. And again, you might.
I think Van Dijk's in that. I think Van Dijk's around that mix as well. We don't lose many league games when Virgil, and he's been here for a long time. Not many. We don't lose many at home. Last year was crazy. We had a run where in January Burnley beat us and ended the run, and it was like 50 odd games. And then after that, Everton, Brighton came and got wins against us as well. It felt like last season it was like on Oprah when she's giving everyone a car. Well, everyone got a home win. Everyone got a win at Anfield at some point last season. But again, that was a really strange place we were in. We were just decimated. We were absolutely decimated. But in general, Anfield is a difficult place to come and get points from. So that's what we need to do. We need to make Anfield again that fortress that it was and has been this season pretty much. And then from there, we just need again. We're going to have to go to the Etihad and win, which again is really, really it's difficult. But if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly. And I've already said it's probably going to be so hard. But like I say, I don't know if you've seen our fixtures coming up. We've got obviously you guys, and we've got West Ham at home. Then we've got Randers in the cup in the Europa League conference, which is still a hard one, although we're playing at the moment anyway. And then you've got Wolves away as well, which again, the way they're playing in 8th place is quite a hard game. So 3 games in a row now in the Premier League, which, to be honest, I don't know if you can see any points coming from it, but in my opinion, it could be hard.
It is hard. Leicester, they're 3 good sides. Leicester are fascinating to me because it can be very Jekyll and Hyde. Like every time you think you can write Leicester off, they just pull one out. Again, like us, they had no right beating Liverpool. The team that played against us, they had I think you just lost to Villa, hadn't you? And you just lost against Napoli. You'd hammered Newcastle, which again everyone does, and then that cup game comes, and within 20 minutes you're 2-1 up and then 3-1 up, and then but even that cup game kind of sums up Leicester. You can be amazing, and then they can just be an absolute shambles at the same time. Like to lose that game or even let us score at the end was crazy. And I actually think in that game Rodgers made some really mad decisions in that one. So that League Cup game against us was almost a bit of Leicester season summed up. Again, the greats can be great. Maddison scores a great goal. Vardy scores 2 very good goals. But then it's a bit of a shambles for some of our goals. And it just feels like that League Cup game kind of summed you guys up. It's so unpredictable. That's what I feel with Leicester. You're so there's I would never have seen you getting beat 4-1 by Nottingham Forest. That just was never even in consideration for me. But then beating us 1-0 when you did was never in consideration either. So it is really, you are a very difficult team to judge.
Yeah, I say for me going into that Forest game as well, it was just you couldn't kind of tell what was going to happen because you could easily have gone and beat them 4-0, or you could have got easily battered 4-0, which it happens with every game. Going into that Spurs game, I thought we weren't the better team at all. We got 2-1 up, thinking we were going to cruise it. But in the end, started singing the song Spurs, it's happening again, and then within 2 minutes, it's 3-2 down. So anything can happen on Thursday. I have hopes. I'm going down to Liverpool, obviously, so I've got to keep my hopes up. But going into lineups as well, obviously on Thursday, then you said that Mane might not be in there because obviously
He
he's
won't
still
be.
celebrating. Salah could be. Obviously, you said that there's a lot of players back now. No, you barely got anyone injured. Anyone you're maybe putting in there probably won't normally start, maybe because of how they're playing, or
I don't. The difficult. The choice he's got is who plays in midfield. So I can guarantee you the goalkeeper. It'll be Alisson. It'll be Van Dijk and Matip for centre back. It'll be Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. It'll be Firmino. Fabinho in midfield. It'll be Jota. It'll be Salah. So then there's three positions. There's who plays up front, and if it's Jota, then who plays left wing? So that could be Diaz. It could be Harvey Elliott's around, Oxlade-Chamberlain's around, Minamino's around, and then in midfield, I'm pretty sure Henderson will start. But then that third position, there's Thiago, there's Keita, there's Elliott, there's Chamberlain, there's Jones, there's Milner. So if I'm honest, I've got a feeling he's going to start Elliott in midfield. I think he's going to just ride that wave of momentum. I'm conscious. I know earlier I said I'm changing. I didn't think he would, but now more think about it, he might do. If he doesn't, he might. Again, Thiago's coming back from injury and he loves Thiago, so there's options there. I don't even know. But I think I reckon I'd be confident of naming 8 of the 11, like I just did. The other 3 depends on a lot of different things. But listen, we might get Luis Diaz's full debut. He came on the other day and set a goal up within minutes. So yeah, there's plenty of options in Liverpool there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And even Diaz, you mentioned, only just come in. It was already set up a goal, so he's obviously a danger man as well. If the likes of Jota starts in the middle, but looking at our squad, then who's one of the players you really kind of highlight to maybe be the trouble man in the game, or who you'd think could really cause any issues?
It's usually Vardy, but I'm right in saying he might not play. Is that right?
He's out. He's out. He's definitely out for another at least 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, so he's the man who usually terrorises us. The Jamie Vardy's got an amazing record against us. I'm sick of seeing him score in front of the Cop. He does that quite often. Without him, like Tielemans is a good player, but like you mentioned before, he's been a bit up and down. Maddison's got goals against us as well, and he's played well in games against us. He gave the Cop a little bit last time he was there as well. Which again didn't work out well for him in the end. But at the time when he scored that goal, he didn't have. I think he'd done the dart celebration in front of the Cop.
Yeah.
So he's got a bit about him as well. I've always liked Johnny Evans, but I'm right in saying he's not playing either. So yeah, I think no Vardy's huge for us because again he is one. He's absolutely killed us in the past, and he's done well for you. Does that mean I'm guessing Daka plays up front? Is that what it will be?
Yeah, and even Jack just mentioned saying thoughts on Daka. Obviously, he was linked with you before he even came to us.
Yeah.
Are you a sort of certain fan that rates him, or?
Yeah, like I say, I was a big fan before you signed him. I haven't seen too much of him. He's been a bit in and out for you guys, hasn't he? In Vardy, Ian Acho have been kind of trailing places. I don't know what the Leicester fans think of him. I thought he was a very good sign. I think he's a very good player. So yeah, he's definitely a danger for sure. I don't know. Is the general feeling he's done well for you? Is that he's underperformed? From outside looking at it, we don't hear a lot about him. To be truthful,
the main thing about me is obviously I think he's come in and he's helped us a lot out because of obviously Vardy's been getting injured a lot more. He should be getting to be the replacement for him when Vardy does slowly die out and leave the club, but. For me, Dak's been brilliant. He's obviously every time he's played, he seems to get goals in Europa League. Before we got knocked out, he got 4 against Spartak Moscow. Somehow, when we played him away, he seems a clinical player. He's fast. He knows how to shoot on the goal. So he's been brilliant. A lot of people, have said that they've not been too happy about him because he's not been aggressive enough. Like someone like Vardy, he runs for every single ball. Whereas Daka don't, but he knows where to be when the ball comes into the box. So for me,
he's done well in that league. He done well in that League Cup game against us. He set one of the goals up, didn't he? And like I say, he scored against Leicester. So he scored against Spurs and he scored against Brighton in the league. So yeah, he's got a goal in him. So yeah, I'm guessing he's the main threat for you guys. it's hard to know. Your team, it changes quite a bit. Brendan's got this rotation thing that he likes to do. It's hard to know, but I'm a big fan of Tielemans, and I wonder how much his future's playing on his mind. He's another player who's been linked with Liverpool, and I'm sure they probably would like to take him in the summer if they can. We're going to definitely going to lose James Milner. Oxlade-Chamberlain might leave. Naby Keita might leave as well. So the Liverpool are probably in the market for a midfielder, and he does suit. He's got the right profile of player as well. So I think he's a top player. I think he's one of your better players as well.
Yeah, say when he on his day, I think he's probably one of our best players. But then you'd like say he's had his bad days. For instance, Forest, the Spurs game when he decided to just pass the ball back to let them score the third. But I know what you mean, and from you saying about our lineup, you don't know what it could be. In my opinion, after we dropped Schmeichel in the Forest game, I think he'll be going straight back in unless there's any issues behind the scenes that we don't know about. He'll be back in for us. Luke Thomas on the left, James Justin on the right. Hopefully they'll give you a bit of trouble going forwards. Centre backs, it's a hard one because people have not liked Suncho at all playing in the back line at the moment because he just seems to have lost his head a lot. But I'd probably play Marty, even though he made an error against Forest again. And maybe Chowdhury. I think he played against you in the back line. In that last game when we beat you, he did brilliantly, I think. And then in midfield, it's a hard one because obviously we've got the likes of Dewsbury Hall that I thought played quite well against you at home.
Yeah.
Tielemans, the way he's been playing, I could see him even getting dropped with obviously Rodgers' comments as well. So maybe he gets out, but obviously indeed he stays in, Maddison stays in, and then you've obviously got the front three most likely going to either be Daka and Iheanacho. And then again, it's either wingers with Barnes, Lookman, and then Daka on his own. So you are right. There's a lot of switching around in the team depending on how he thinks that the tactics would work better against you. But are you saying finally then, are you saying if we do lose to you, it could be the words out for Rodgers? Or
I think the fact that you play another game at the weekend that's a very quick turnaround, and sometimes that can save a manager. I feel like if it's a very quick turnaround, it might be that they wait. Obviously, it's us on the 10th and West Ham on the 13th, and then after that it's Europa League. Like, I don't think any team would really sack their manager after losing at Anfield. Like, I don't think you can expect your manager to go to Anfield and win. But I think if the West Ham game goes wrong, he's on thin ice. And then Wolves after that, if that goes wrong, then I think he'd be gone. I think if he loses all three, I would be shocked if he was still your manager, to be honest. That's where we're at. And again, we sacked Brendan Rodgers in mid-season. Our owners, they were patient until they couldn't be any patient anymore. It went so badly that, and obviously, Jurgen Klopp was available, and that helps. Like that, the only other thing that could save Brendan is like, well, who's around, who they're going to replace him with. A lot of teams have changed managers recently, so you're either taking someone who they've just sacked, because they've kind of hoovered up all the what you would call the free agent managers, pretty much, isn't it? So that's the difficult thing. If Leicester sack him now, they need to do it with a plan in place of who's next. Like someone like Roberto Martinez, who was linked with Everton, maybe it's him. Yes, you're there. You've heard Klopp to Leicester. Yeah, good luck with that. I'm not even sure Jurgen knows exactly where Leicester is, to be honest with you. Only when he turns up on the bus. But no, listen, Jurgen's, if you manage to pull that one off, all the best. That's the only thing that might save Brendan, isn't it, really, is that I don't know who's is there a buzzword, is there a name on everyone's lips, because there's no immediate hot shot free agent who like springs like you sack Brendan, you have to go and get this guy. You feel like Frank Lampard was that for a lot of teams, and now he's gone. Gerrard, potentially, he's gone. Everyone else that I don't know who's available, who would come in.
There's no one that sort of level. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, Brendan might not be the highest level like a Klopp or a Guardiola, but I know what you mean. If you lose Brendan, who really can come in, that's that level or has the knowledge to have that level of tactics or even just the composure to know what to do in them sort of situations. But finally, we will ask you scoreline for the Thursday night match. Are you looking at a quiet open game, or you maybe think it could be like a 3 or 4-0 for you?
No, I said 3-1. I think he'll score, to be honest. Leicester's got a decent record of scoring against us in general, so I think he'll score. But yeah, I'm quite confident given the options we've got and the form we're in. We haven't lost since that game at the King Power. We went on a decent run since then. and also that was what just after it was December, wasn't it? It was quite a long time ago. We drew with Chelsea after that, and then we went on a pretty much an unbeaten run. We drew at home against Arsenal in the first leg of a cup competition, but then we went and won the second leg. So yeah, since then we've been in really good form. So our back was to get the win. I don't think it'd be easy, to be honest. Leicester always give us a pretty difficult game regardless of circumstance. So I think it might be one of those that it's 2-1 quite late into the game, but then we maybe sneak that third and kill it. But yeah, I don't think it's a guaranteed banker like some people might suggest it would be.
Yeah, I'd say for me, it is a tough one. Obviously, like I said, I'm going down there, so I've got to be positive. I think I'm going to say a 2-1. I think it'll be quite an even game throughout the game, and then maybe hopefully Daka comes out on top and gets one to win the game. But again, it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if we do lose it. Again, it's Anfield. But like I say, 9 out of 10, you would beat us. So realistically, I'm not too sure what you could kind of put it down as. But I'd take a win or even a draw going into Anfield game. So yeah. But Steve, I appreciate you coming on, and obviously check out your show on at 2:00. Is it? I think it's Jamie.
Yeah, so I'm on redmentv.com. We've got Jamie. It's role reversals. I'll be speaking to Jamie. We've got in the Leicester fans point of view. Yeah. If you want to go head on over to our YouTube channel, Redmen TV on YouTube, we've already done our build up to the show. So if some of you guys want to get the Liverpool thinking behind this game, that is available for you now. If you want to go and check it out. Spoiler alert: the lads are in pretty confident mood, so you might not disagree. You might not agree with everything they've said, but yeah, it feels like generally the mood is quite positive around here at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely the opposite for us, but never mind. We'll come down to the ground on Thursday and hopefully
stay off the pitch, though, mate. Yeah.
We will do, mate. Yeah, we will do. We're not like that at all, mate. But appreciate you coming on, mate, and we'll catch you at 2:00 on your side. Appreciate you coming on, mate. And there you go, guys. Appreciate you coming on today with all your comments. I just wanted to try and get the opponent's view of the match coming up, but that is it, guys. Obviously, yeah, again, check out Redmen TV's channel for the show at 2 with Jamie from the Fox's Arms. Again, should be a good watch going back onto their side of the things. And then obviously with the shows coming up this week, you've obviously got Jack's show on Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. And then you've obviously got Tom's Tom's opponent show. I'm guessing for West Ham, I'm not too sure. Or it could be the watch along for that show. For the Liverpool game. So you never know, but we'll take it. Yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll catch you all tomorrow or Thursday. Appreciate it, guys. See you in a bit.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everard's, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie & Co. Estate Agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.